Welcome to KidsCookingShop.com Cupcake of the Month. Hi, I'm Barbara Beery, and this is February, and that means it is Valentine Cupcake Month. We've got an adorable cupcake I'm sure you and your kids are going to fall in love with. Take a closer look at this. Here is our Valentine Cupcake of the Month, and I'm calling it Be My Valentine Cupcake. And as you can see, one of the most important parts of this cupcake is the cookie adorning the top of it. First of all, let's get started on the cupcake. We've started with a baked and cooled chocolate cupcake. And of course you could use a red velvet. Man, that would be delicious too. I today, for a change, stirred up some homemade icing. And I made a homemade buttercream icing. Just look at the texture of this. Buttercream icing is super simple to make. It really is powdered sugar, of course some creamy butter, a little heavy whipping cream or half and half, and some vanilla and almond extract. Look how beautifully that goes on. But remember, if you don't feel like making buttercream icing, you can buy the purchased vanilla icing at the store and it works equally as well. So we've topped the cupcake with our delicious buttercream icing. What better to put on there than some Valentine sprinkles that are plenty of little hearts, the white, pink, and red. You can pick these up at a craft store. Even your grocery store has these cute cupcake toppers and the sprinkles. I'm going to set that for there right now because truly the most magnificent part of the cupcake, as I mentioned earlier, is the cookie that goes on top. Now I used about a 3.5-inch cookie cutter. Let me show you what it looks like. It's about this big, and I know this cookie looks pretty big to sit on top of the cupcake, but when we're talking about kids, we need to give them a big area on which to work because they're more successful doing it. So I used a big cookie cutter for this. I chose my favorite sugar cookie cutout, and what I did was add 1/4 cup of cocoa to my sugar cookie cutout recipe, and it turned out beautifully. I've also used the box sugar cookie, and you can add 1/4 cup of cocoa to the box mix with no extras, and it works just as well. So I baked those up and I cooled them. And the trick and the key to making this successful is to use the powdered sugar and meringue powder, which equals what we call in the cooking world royal icing. And royal icing is used for many different things, but in this instance you can use the royal icing, which is made with powdered sugar, a little water, and the meringue powder. And really the meringue powder is no more than glorified egg whites powdered, but what it does, as you see, when it dries, it hardens and you have a very smooth texture that's got a nice surface on it for writing. So these were iced, and it takes probably, depending on the weather, 3 to 4 hours to let this icing set up. If you want to make it faster than that, put them on a cookie sheet, pop them in the freezer for about 1.5 hours, and your time will be cut in about half. So we did this, and I used originally, if you look at the difference between the writing on here and the writing on these two, I originally used this fondant marker, which I love. I think the look of it is fabulous, but really if you're working with kids 10 or under, it simply is not as successful as using these paint pens, which I absolutely love. They come in every color. They're edible food markers. You can get a pack of 12 of them for maybe like $9.99, and I think this is an absolute delightful way for kids. I'm just going to go over this and show you how easy it is to use these. See how thick you can make it or how thin? And you can do any kind of writing on here you want, and I think this would be a great Valentine's Day activity for a school activity. And you can show the kids some samples of how you want the cookie to look. But the truth is, when they get these markers in their hands, let them decorate and have the most fun putting these things together any way they want to. They can write their name on it, their Valentine's name, whatever they want to do, that's the way these need to be decorated. Then after this is done, you simply stick it down in the center of the cupcake, and you've got a Be My Valentine's Day cupcake that I think anybody is going to love getting. And remember, we've got the recipe for the cupcake, all the decorating tips, as well as our new hand-picked exclusive Valentine's Day cooking and baking sets at KidsCookingShop.com. Join us again next time. This is Barbara Beery telling you, keep cooking up some fun.